So today we are going to talk about syllabus, right? Very important thing. It will help you how to prepare. It will shape your whole preparation. It will first of all, and the most importantly, it will define the exam requirements. How to figure that out, that what is of national importance and what is not of national importance or of international importance. Right now, we don't care about Bollywood gossips. UPSC, CSAT do not care. Maybe you care about Bollywood gossips, but UPSC might not ever care for Bollywood gossips. Right? Whether the topic is relevant or not. And second important thing is how deep I have to study into that particular topic. If you club ancient Indian culture, you get like 70% of history questions. You have to focus on governance as well. So these are like 4 papers plus essay, and then you have to choose your optional topic. Hello learners, and welcome to the second episode of UPSC 360. So today we are going to talk about syllabus, right? Very important thing. And as we have promised that this series is going to be very crisp series, to the point, straightforward. Right, so let's talk about the syllabus today. We'll be talking about syllabus of UPSC and we'll be decoding the whole syllabus. Right, so now syllabus is, you can say, the beacon or the guiding light for the whole preparation. It will help you how to prepare. It will shape your whole preparation. It will first of all, and the most importantly, it will define the exam requirements. What is to be studied and what is to be left, and that is more important, that what is to be left. A lot of things are actually not required or not important for UPSC. A lot of topics are not that much relevant, and that has to be studied only on the surface. While there are subjects which needs deep understanding, which needs conceptual understanding. So how to figure that point out? And second thing is, and the important thing is, how to cover your prelims, mains and interview preparation, or especially how to be 100% ready for these examinations. Right, so we'll be talking about all these things. For example, in prelims exam syllabus, it's only mentioned that current events of national and international importance. But how to figure that out, that what is of national importance and what is not of national importance or of international importance. There are so many things. For example, the event like Allahabadiya and Rana controversy. Right, it might seem to some people that it is not at all important for UPSC preparation, but if you go deeper, you will realize that it is important and it can actually become a question of UPSC CSE. UPSC CSE actually looks into what is happening into the society, what is really you can say occurring on the daily basis, and accordingly they frame questions. It will not be direct question from this controversy, but it can actually manipulate that, or it can modify the whole thing and then present in a new way, right? And then you have to apply your knowledge and you have to think about all the dimensions, right? And what is happening on internet, obscenity, right, or the freedom of speech, right? So here what are the social values? Is it part of our culture? So it can be viewed from multiple dimensions. Similarly, a lot of things which are happening, for example, this event, right, where we are actually securing a bronze medal or gold medal, right? These are definitely of national importance and can actually come into your examination in one way or the other. But there are so many other news, for example, Bollywood gossips. Right now, we don't care about Bollywood gossips. UPSC, CSAT do not care. Maybe you care about Bollywood gossips, but UPSC might not ever care for Bollywood gossips. It will not ask questions from that era, right? Or similarly some news which is of very micro importance. UPSC looks at, you can say, at very macro level. So we need to understand what is important and what is not important. So in that regard, right, for example, this news, right, issues relating to syllabus says that issues relating to the development and management of social sector services relating to health, education and human resources. So if there is a news article which talks about PIMS, right, or other news articles which talks about women empowerment, role of women in the society, or how this role of women is actually changing in the society, that becomes important. Something which is related to poverty, something which is related to hunger, education, health, all these macro topics are very important. So actually, to understand, right, and to really understand that what is important and what is not important, we have to look into the syllabus. So now let's go deeper and let's go through all the topics, all the things. Let's decode the whole UPSC CSE syllabus. So let's enter into this segment where we'll be talking about, we'll be going through whole syllabus. Now before we talk about the syllabus, we'll talk about the prelims, the first stage and the main syllabus, that is the most important stage. Our whole preparation is about mains. You can say the most important part of the preparation is the mains preparation. So that is the reason we talk about integrated preparation of prelims and mains. There is no separate preparation. There is definitely separate practice for prelims, right? And definitely you will go for separate practice for prelims, but if you properly prepare for the mains examination, you will always be, or you will be prelims ready as well. So that is something which is required. Now, before you start your preparation, one thing which I want you to do is have a syllabus printout, right? You need to have a syllabus printout so that you can keep a track of what is left and what is already studied, right? So syllabus printout, so that you have this whole, you can say, you can say the whole rules of the UPSC CSE game, right? That is something always in front of you, like this one, and you ensure you keep on marking what is required, what is not required, this is done, this is not done, right? So that you have this whole, journey track. So this syllabus printout, first of all, I would welcome you to take a printout, right? Not maybe immediately, but after this session, take a printout. This printout should always be handy, and there will be, like, you can say, once you have finished all the syllabus, maybe you will need multiple printouts, so that you basically add strategy, add things, add whatever you want to add to the syllabus. Another guiding light to us will be PYQs. So syllabus alone will not be helpful. Another thing which will be helping us will be PYQs, which will help us understand the depth required, and it will help us understand the relevance, right? Whether the topic is relevant or not, and second important thing is how deep I have to study into that particular topic. So this will be, you can say, catered by PYQs. In this session, we are going to discuss about syllabus. Right now, it is not, you can say, advisable to actually go for whole PYQ discussion at once. Reason, you will not understand. If I talk about disaster management questions today, you will not be able to understand. Basically, with every topic, suppose you are studying history, right? Let's say ancient India. Along with ancient India, you have to look into PYQs, or the questions being asked in prelims examination and mains examination. And accordingly, you have to modify your, you can say, depth and relevance, right? These two things, depth and relevance, that will be guided finally by the PYQs. Right now, we are basically, you can say, understanding the macro things or the topics required for UPSC CSE preparation. A lot of time we do miss the topics which are sacrosanct, which are very, very important. So let's talk about prelims first. So prelims, actually the syllabus is very, very brief, and it does not actually tells us a lot of things. For example, it only tells us that there will be question from current events, there will be question from history, and this history includes ancient India, medieval culture, and modern India. Now, to what depth and relevance, that will be given by PYQs. Similarly, it says that it will be asking about geography, world geography, Indian geography, polity, governance, economic and social development. So syllabus is very, very crisp, right? And a very crisp, not too much in detail, and it is not going to help us a lot. Only thing which will help us for prelims practice will be the PYQs. Right. Second thing, if we talk about the second paper, which is qualifying in nature, only 33% you have to score. These are the topics. Again, comprehension, interpersonal skill, logical reasoning, numeracy skills. Right. These are four things broadly, you can say, which are required for qualifying CSAT examination. Again, helpful, not very, very helpful, but at least we got to know that these are the topics, right? And in the first paper, or the prelims paper, paper 1 and paper 2, these are the subjects which we have to study. To what depth and relevance, that is second stage. Now let's come to mains examination. Now mains examination is descriptive in nature. The whole paper you have to write answer. While prelims examination, both the papers were objective in nature. There will be 4 questions, right? And out of those four options, and out of those four options, you have to just mark 1. So these will be like MCQ style. But mains is altogether a different ball game, right? If we talk about mains examination, you have to write the whole answer, right? Write like an essay. So first stage of mains examination is you have to attempt 2, you can say, language paper. One Indian language which you have to select, and one is English paper. I've hardly heard from someone that they failed into these examination, especially if you are preparing for this examination in English, then this is not at all an issue. You have to write essay, grammar and all. And another thing is Indian language. You can choose as per your convenience, whichever language you think is, you are proficient enough, you can actually go into that language. Maybe 1 or 2 day, brushing up the topics and all, it will be good enough. You don't have to research on this topic. Both are qualifying in nature. The marks and all will not be added anywhere, right? It is just like qualifying papers. So this stage is important, not very important. It's a qualifying stage. It is not as CSAT. It will not block you. Now let's come to the main part. Right, now the first paper is essay paper. Now essay paper will be again 250 marks, and mostly these days UPSC is asking 2 essays. So you have to write 2 essays, and this is a very scoring part. Right, you can score like 150 marks into 250 as well, right? So it's a very scoring marks, but people do not focus a lot on this. That is a major blunder students do. You have to focus. It's not like you have to give months into this preparation, but at least a week or 10 days will be good enough for preparing essay, and then you can keep on, practicing more and more. Right, theory wise essay do not have much theory, but it is very easy to write. Comparatively you can score a lot. Scoring 125 130 is not a big deal into essay examination. Right, but right now we are not going into syllabus. There is hardly any syllabus of essay examination. Only PYQs will tell you that what type of essays are being asked. These days there is too much emphasis on philosophical essays, right, and very abstract thoughts, and UPSC wants you to think upon that, right, build upon that and write an essay. Now let's come to the major chunk, the core part, the foundation. This main exam general studies paper 1, right, and general studies 1 is the core part, foundation part. Here it talks about art forms and architecture. So basically literature, art, architecture, and this includes ancient and medieval. Yeah, so ancient, medieval, art and culture, this is something UPSC expects you to write. But if you go for further understanding, these days ancient India is more important, PYQs tells us, and it is you can say it can contribute like 70% of history. Right, so ancient India and secondary culture, right, and a culture, if you club ancient India and culture, you get like 70% of history questions, right. Another thing is modern India, important for mains examination as well. So modern India, if you see, the topic is 1750 plus. After 1750, all the significant events and all. Also it talks about freedom struggle separately, that you have to focus on freedom struggle, various phases, important contribution. So this is something you need to keep in your mind while you are studying modern India. Right, another factor if we stay in history is world history, another subject, world history. World history is 1700 plus. Now it means that you don't have to study world history starting from, let's say, Mesopotamian civilization and the Roman civilization. No, it is not at all required. Syllabus tells us that it is 1700 plus, and it is also, you will also get to know this once you see PYQs. Hardly any question from, there is no question from 1700 beyond, into ancient world and all, or medieval world. They have hardly asked any question. So they have not asked actually any question. So 1700 plus world history is good enough, right? Another thing is post-independence, consolidation and reorganization. Now the important thing to understand over here, that the first 2 topics, right, the history takes the, major space of the syllabus, but history contributes into prelims examination only from the first 2. In prelims examination, there is no world history, there is no post-independence. Right, these 2 things comes only into mains examination, and hardly either 1 question from here or 1 question from here. Right, most of the time we find only 1 question from either of these. That means again you don't have to go very much deep into world history and post-independence. Right, a rough understanding of world history or the basic understanding of world history and post-independence, even if you know the story, it is good enough. It is asking very simple question. Post-independence is limited to consolidation and reorganization. So do not waste time into world history and post-independence. Another important thing is Indian society, which takes up very small space of the syllabus. Right, Indian society, where role of women, population, poverty, development, urbanization, globalization. Now these keywords you need to understand, and first of all their application into the current arena, that is something which is important. And here UPSC will be asking almost something which is based on application. Now you'll be surprised to know that out of 250 marks, this whole chunk of history contributes only 75 marks. And the geography contributes 75 marks, right, and the remaining 100 marks is being contributed by Indian society. And learners are spending most of their time in history and geography, ignoring society, which is again a blunder. Right, now so society is important, the key terminology, their application is important, and if you want to really qualify this examination, you have to focus on Indian society. Right, now so do focus on Indian society. Yeah, so once you have this syllabus, with you, you'll be able, or you'll be not able to ignore, right? And you daily this society will think, society thing will tell you that come out of history now, right? And finish history and come to society, talk about society, and write answers about society. Not contributing much or anything to prelims examination, but very very important for mains examination. Similarly, geography is important for prelims and mains both, right? So these three things, history, modern India, ancient medieval culture, and geography, is important for prelims examination. Rest are important for mains examination, and the most important thing is Indian society for the mains examination. So again, this paper and at least 2024, 2023, the mains paper you should go and see, right? And the most important thing is, once you are studying modern India, go through PYQs of modern India, maybe topic wise, go through mains questions of modern India, so that you have understanding of what you have to look for into this subject, right? As I already said, that PYQs help you with relevance and depth, right? And now these two things will be taught to you by the PYQs itself. Another subject, another paper is General Studies 2. In General Studies 2, we have two major topics. One is Indian Constitution and Union and States, or you can say the whole polity. So this polity part, this is the major contributor to the prelims examination and mains examination as well, right? First of all, when you read Indian Constitution, a lot of things will be covered along with Indian Constitution. So we can club this part that, along with the basic understanding of Constitution, you get to know about the federal structure, legislature, judiciary, finances. RP Acts is separate, you have to study constitutional post and the related discussion. So these are few important things, or the very very important thing in the GS paper 2, and this is also part of your foundation, right? Now the history, geography, polity and economy, these are your foundation subjects. So important, yes, once you study polity, you get to know this, right? Also this contributes like almost 100 marks into mains examination, which is huge. Yeah, huge contribution from this, yes, but almost you can say 125 marks, not 100. Almost 50% of the question, or 50% of the score will come from this part. If you have a strong foundation, GS paper 2, you can score a lot. But people are not able to score a lot into this area. Reason, they ignore the other topics, right? And even this is important for prelims examination, but social justice and governance is mostly important for the mains examination. Now in social justice, you have to understand the government schemes or the welfare schemes of the government for, let's say, vulnerable section, women, children, right? So this is important part. What government is doing with respect to health, education, human resources, poverty, hunger, all these topics are important, and the application or the government initiatives will be asked into the examination. Important part, yes. So social justice almost includes like 25 marks into mains examination. Similarly, governance also contributes almost 50 marks, where you want to talk about the e-governance. These days is very very popular. Then transparency in governance, accountability of the government, citizen charter, transparency and accountability, then institutional measures or the role of civil services, right? All these things which seems very generic to the people, and students do ignore this part. This contribute almost 50 marks into the mains examination. If you have this with you, you will be understanding that this is left. You have to focus on governance as well, especially for the mains examination. For the subjective answers, you have to focus. One thing before I go ahead, once you prepare for the mains examination, you realize that there are few topics which are mains only, and there are few topics which are common between prelims and mains. For example, modern India. For prelims purpose, for the mains purpose, you only need to have analytical understanding. Do not focus much on facts. And for prelims especially, you need to have focus on facts. So only those topics which come into prelims examination, you have to focus on facts. Otherwise, only and only analytical understanding. For the governance part, for example, again coming back, governance only focus on the analytical part, right? Social justice focus on the analytical part. But IR, because a lot of questions comes into prelims examination as well about the international institution, the reports and all. So that is the reason where you have to focus on the facts for prelims examination. Otherwise, their application, their you can say analytical part is important for mains. So here, very important is how we have neighborhood relations, our relation with Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, right, and Southeast Asia. Then groupings, all the groupings, right, all the groupings, whether it is global, bilateral, whatsoever, right, these groupings are important. Then impact on India's interest, whatever is happening, whether it is Ukraine war, Israel, Palestine, whatever is happening, what that global event will have impact on us, that is you have to study. It is not like you have to research upon how Israel or Palestine, development is taking place, how what all organizations are basically, against each other and, impacting it. You have to focus on whatever is happening, how it is going to impact India. That is of major importance, right? Rest of the things you can keep an eye on, but otherwise the most important thing is how it is going to impact us. That is something you have to focus upon. Then Indian diaspora and the various international relations, institutions, right? So this is something you have to focus on IR. So if you complete all this, you will be able to score in GS paper 2. Now let's come to the third subject. The most important topic in the third subject is Indian economy, right? Economic development, Indian economy. Important for prelims? Yes, important for prelims as well. So Indian economy, but here I want you to focus on agriculture as well. A lot of questions comes from agriculture, right? So this is the core part, and this economic development contributes like 100 marks into the mains examination, right? Similarly, it has huge contribution into prelims examination as well. So this part, economic development, contributes to the prelims and mains both. Science and technology, easy, I'll not say easy for everyone, but you don't have to study the nitty-gritty of science and tech. You don't have to actually invent, right? You will not be asked to invent a rocket or something. You will only be asked the application of the technology. As a future civil servant, you should be able to understand the application of the technology. So all these things, not with respect to how it is exactly working, or basically you should be able to tell everything, but you should be able to understand the application for you, application for the country, be it IT, space, computer, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology, IPR or intellectual property rights. Only the application part is important, how it is being applied. These days, last year also, ethics had a question on AI. Right, and similarly, space technology is always, you can say always in discussion. Similarly, we have a lot of achievements in space technology. So even Indian achievement, our contribution to technology is important. Right, and so their application is something which you have to focus, not on the nitty-gritty of science and tech. Right, this is important for prelims as well. Yes. Also, it contributes like 9 to 10 questions. The syllabus is very, you can say, small, right? Comparatively very small. And it is easier to revise as well. Very good, you can say, part for the prelims preparation, very important part of the prelims preparation. So Indian economy and science and tech both are coming into prelims examination. Another important thing is biodiversity and environment. This looks like geography to some, but it is not geography. It is about environment. It is about biodiversity, right? This comes into third paper, and it is super important for prelims examination. Because this prelims examination is common with forest services, that is the reason there is too much focus on environment. There are too many questions from environment. It can reach up to 20 questions into prelims examination. So in prelims, it can give you like 20 questions, right? Even in mains this biodiversity and environment part can fetch you 20 marks in mains examination. Similarly, science and technology can fetch you 50 marks in mains examination. Important? Yes, very important. Then a lot of people will ignore internal security, right? Development versus extremism. Then our security forces, the crime terrorism nexus, money laundering, cyber security, impact of social media, right? External and non-state threats. So all these things are important and could not be ignored. This internal security contributes again like 50 marks into mains examination. Similarly, a very small topic, disaster management. People do ignore disaster management. It's a very small topic and can contribute like 30 marks. So to be exam ready or to actually crack the examination, you cannot afford to ignore them, right? You cannot just restrict yourself to history, geography, polity, economy, science and tech, or the topics which are coming into prelims examination. Prelims is not the key. If you are mains ready, automatically you are prelims ready. So you have to focus on all this. And then comes the paper, you know, after 2015, after this whole overhauling of the syllabus, we have this ethics paper. There's a dedicated ethics paper which wants to check your, you can say, ethical stand, your ethical decision making, a lot of things. This is entirely a different ball game. You don't have to think that you are a very ethical person and whatever you'll be writing will be ethics. No. Here if I talk about ethics, then first of all, a lot of things you have to focus upon core of ethics, right? Word meanings. For example, what is attitude? Yeah, what attitude actually means. What is emotional intelligence? What is probity, integrity? So first of all, you need to have this technical know-how of ethics. Second thing is thinkers. What the philosophers and thinkers have told us. And then the most important part comes where you have to understand its application. Yeah, application into governance, into administration, application into let's say environment, climate change. Last year there was a question on climate change. Application with respect to technology or other contemporary issues. Here there will be some case studies and case studies. So one is core part, and case studies will contribute like 120 marks. Core of ethics will help you, or the you can say definition part will help you with 130 marks as per 2024 paper. This is only in mains examination. It is not, of course, it is not there in prelims examination. So it is huge. And case study is all about application. Case study is all about ethical decision making. It is not about how you will justify your decision, but it is about how you will take an ethical decision, right? And so all these thinking is important. You have to study this topic. A lot of aspirants think that they know ethics, they are very ethical, right? They are like true aspirants, so there is no need of reading ethics. No, it is required. You have to develop the art of writing into ethics. You have to actually show how it is an ethical decision, right? And how this is you can say applying, or this ethical understanding will be applied to the various you can say dimensions. All these things are important, and you have to focus upon this as well. This will take your, you can say, dedicated focus. Of course, this needs dedicated focus. You cannot ignore this part. So these are like 4 papers plus essay, right? All these 2 for 50 marks, and then you have to choose your optional topics, right? Optional, we'll have separate discussion how to choose an optional and all. That will be a different discussion. So this was all about syllabus and requirement, whatever is required with this syllabus. As I told you that there will be a lot of things written in the syllabus, but it will not make 100% sense until and unless you go through PYQs, until and unless you go through the prelims paper, mains paper, and especially mains paper, to understand what depth is required and how much relevance that particular topic is, right? So yes, and then comes your practice part. Right, now prelims, you have to practice for MCQ. As I already said, fact retention is important. It is not about only analytical understanding, it is also about facts. Prelims, a lot of facts are being asked along with the conceptual understanding. You have to give dedicated time for prelims practice, not prelims preparation, but prelims practice. Before prelims, you have to give dedicated time like 100 days of 3-4 months, where you have to revise for prelims, you have to practice for prelims. MCQ itself is a different ball game, it's a different art altogether. So you have to focus upon that. Yes, mains, as we have discussed, it needs more analytical understanding. It is more about conceptual understanding and presenting that. And then interview is entirely different ball game. It's all about your personality. It's all about your presence of mind. That is something we should not be worried about right now. Right, I'm not talking about interview right now because we will have enough time. Once you are mains ready, you will be like 90% interview ready. Interview is not a problem, right? So interview we can focus later. After mains, we will have sufficient time for interview. So let's not worry about interview right now. Let's only and only worry about mains right now. So only thing you need to prepare for is mains. Automatically you'll get ready for prelims examination. Some things you have to keep in mind while studying for prelims, or basically some things you have to keep in mind for ensuring that you are also prelims ready. Okay, so most of the things we have discussed. Yeah, so yeah, the syllabus funnel we have seen, and PYQ, as I told you, is a syllabus guide. We have already discussed this. So MCQ, prelims and subjective questions, mains, this will, more questions you will attempt, more practice you will do either for prelims or mains examination, more clarity you will have for this whole examination. Just understand that theory or the knowledge is only the base. It is not going to take you anywhere. These questions, prelims practice and mains practice, will finally ensure that you are getting selected. Right, so PYQs will be the syllabus guide, as I already told you. Not all syllabus topics are equally important every year. Importance shifts based on trends. Yes, also you have to understand that you have to focus upon 100% syllabus. There will be some variation in trends, some variation in importance. Right, and that is something you will gradually, once you study that topic, you will be able to understand, you will be able to cope up. Right, once you are 100% prelims ready and mains ready, this trend and all will not matter. You will be able to cater. So yeah, plus this syllabus, as we have discussed, the mentoring, guided mentorship will definitely help you. If you have a if you have a mentor, they will help you with the path, right? While you're studying a topic, while you're studying a subject, this will definitely help you. Another thing which I would like to recommend is that do not go for too many resources. Don't become a PDF collector or a resource collector. Whatever we have seen, we have realized that there are too many topics, there are so many subjects. If I bifurcate, there are like 19 to 23 bifurcations, 19 to 23 subjects you have to study. So it is not possible to have more than one book, or rarely two books, for one particular subject. You cannot have 10 sources for one particular topic. You will have to limit your sources so that eventually you are able to revise, and not only revise, but you are able to go for multiple revision. Everything is, the whole book or the whole, you can say, material is somewhere, at the back of your mind. And if you just open the book or basically surf through the book, you are able to revise it very quickly. So that is something which is very much important. So limit your resources and set boundaries. Do not, this knowledge should not be tempting you. In UPSC preparation, a lot of time it happens that it attracts us, that we want to research on, let's say, Marathas, because Marathas is very you can say attractive topic. So you want to have research in that, you want to understand more about language and all, or you want to go deeper into Buddhism or Jainism or Indian philosophy. It is not at all required. Whatever resource or whatever subject, whatever book you are following, right, and stick to it. And first of all, try ki 100% syllabus or 100% coverage or preparation is done. Right, and of course adapt with the question pattern. More PYQs you will see, accordingly the relevance and depth you will understand, and you will be able to adapt to the preparation. Okay, so next topic will be about very important topic, and topic very much in demand. It is about how to select your optional subject. Right, so in the next video we'll be talking about how to choose an optional subject. Till then I hope the preparation is on track. You have already started the preparation, and be very consistent, be very disciplined, come out of your comfort zone, because never ever anything great is achieved out of comfort zone. Okay, so till then, bye bye, take care, and Jai Hind.